Hello, it's Cassie Oelberg in Sealands Grove, Pennsylvania. We are here with sketch one for the June virtual crop. I don't know if you did the virtual crop last weekend or not. I am catching up this week because I was in the middle of our Creative Cafe International event, which if you haven't done, it is a fun-filled weekend with 10 classes, 5 instructors, $2,800 in prizes. And so we had a really good time with that, but now I'm catching up with virtual crop. So lots of fun stuff always happening around here. Anyway, let's go over and see what is happening. So I always like to print these sheets out. If you haven't done that, you just go to the pages in your website and it gives you this to work with. And so this just gives us some ideas of what we might want to do. Of course, since it's a one-page spread, I'm going to make it go across 2. I am going to flip where my pictures are going to, these pictures are going to go here, and this one's going to go over here. Then over here on this page, I am going to put these 2 here, and then I'm going to turn these 2 into smaller photos so that I can increase to 7 pictures for this double-page spread. So let's look at what that looks like. First of all, I'll move this out of my way. And I'll bring my trimmer in. And I'm going to work on a Fast-to-Fab page. I am going to use them until I can't use them anymore. I'll throw in some Fast-to-Fab inspired paper, and I might do a few without Fast-to-Fab pages, but mostly I'm going to stick with it. So the first thing I want to add is this little frame that goes across here. Now it shows that you're going to just build on a cardstock and do an 11.5 by 11.5 piece of paper, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this over 1/4 inch because 1/4 inch frame gives us the 11.5 by 11.5 that we have going on there. I'm going to bring this down to 1/4 inch, and I'm going to cut all the way down. Until I have 1/4 inch. Okay, then we're going to rotate and just do that all the way around to give us this frame. Such a small cut that it's really important to line it all the way top and bottom because it's so easy for a small cut like that to look crooked if you're not careful. Bring it down to the 1/4 inch. And finally, our last one. Okay. And then we're just going to do that exact same thing again. I might as well do both these cuts together. So you're just going to see a repeat of the 1/4 inch frame. I love how easy it is to measure, and things don't seem to slide at all on this new trimmer. So that really makes me happy. I don't know if the rest of you have been having the thrill of this trimmer, but I certainly have. If you do CCI with us, I am going to give you a little tiny sneak into what we talked about after the event this weekend. So a couple people were asking about this little sticker that tells you exactly what sizes to cut to make your magic mats. And of course, they're all on your old trimmers. And some people were saying, well, they peel up rather nicely because they're vinyl. But I also understand that if you're anything like me, when you have something nice and shiny and new, you like all parts of it to be nice and shiny and new. So if that fits your description, we just discussed everybody who registers for the autumn event is going to get one of those. So we will be sending out details soon. But that's your little sneak peek into it. Okay. So let's go ahead and tape this down so we don't lose it. I am known for losing things. Okay. My computer screen is popping up things. I'm like, what is happening over there? But it's just about my printer, so we'll ignore it. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't somebody saying, Cassie, Cassie, we can't hear you, or Cassie, Cassie, I have a question. Okay. So we're going to pop this over here. And then when it's skinny like this, it's good to start right up against the jeeping on a side. And put it down there first. And then commit it. That would be helpful. And then go across the top next. And then just bring it down your side. Don't tuck your pictures under there unless that's where you want your picture to end up. And then voila, we have this beautiful frame. And let's go ahead and put that down on the other side too, so we don't end up with that losing problem. I hate losing things. So this is just going to get taped. And I always make sure I hold on to it pretty tight because I'm known for going pretty quickly with things. And if you go too quickly with these skinny pieces, you can easily rip them. And that's not something we want to happen. Okay, so now we get that frame look all the way around. And we did not have to use a piece of cardstock or paper. We just got to use this. Now, what's exciting is we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this inside part too, because this is going to go across. It's going to be our top and bottom. So I'm going to stack these. I'm going to use them both. And I'm going to cut them at 3 1/4. There's 2 of them. Ah, they came unstacked. And so now this is extra. And it can just go over there. So these are our top 2 pieces. And we're just following along. So this is going to be the middle part, and these are the top and bottom. So this is going to go right inside here. It came out of there. So it's going to fill back in perfectly. And since I stacked them and cut them, I'm going to use the 2 pieces that were stacked together to go top and bottom, because they're going to be exactly the same size all the way across. And then we're going to do the bottom. And I'm liking how this is coming together. Okay, so now we have this border we want to add in here. And I'm going to go ahead and use my new favorite, cornflower molten lava. Can you hear the giggle in my voice? It just makes me so happy. So we're going to use what I think is a castle wall. I use this a lot on my travel pages because I do a lot of, well, I did do a lot of European travel with my baby. But now she's in Africa, so I'm going to have to totally switch it up after this album. And I'm just going to punch all the way down. I don't know, this molten lava corn flour is absolutely my fave. I actually asked them, why do we not have blue when we did the last molten lava buffet? And never did hear back. But then the next thing I knew, we had molten lava. So I just flipped it and I'm punching the opposite side, because if I can get all of my punching done, then I can move this tool out of my way. So I oftentimes will just do the opposite side, especially if it's cardstock and there's no, you know, it's all the same all the way through. I don't have to worry about which side I'm punching. So I'm going to save these because, well, it's my favorite color and eventually I won't have any more. So that's going to go into my, when I run out of molten lava, I still have some area. And then I'm just going to measure this over to 1/2 of an inch. Doesn't matter how far I decide to do it. But the important thing is that I measure it so that I can make them both exactly the same. Okay. I'm going to bring these over. And I know that on the thing it has it like this. Oh, I need to snip it a little. I'll do that in just a second. Do I like that? Or do I want it this way? Let's just take a look. I think I like it that way. We're gonna stick with it. Okay. Now I'm gonna cut 1/2 of an inch off. There we go. I probably don't need to save those. I'm always all about conservation of paper I love, right? Because eventually we don't have it anymore. It's so funny that this is double-sided, because who is going to waste their molten lava on the plain side when we have plain cardstock for that? Not I. If you're the type of person who would use the flip side of the molten lava on a not molten lava thing, let me know. I'm just curious if that's a thing, or if they just made it plain on the other side just for fun, or what. Okay. So there we go. So look how this is coming together. Now we're going to add our photos. So I'm going to add these two here and this one here. So the kid made me go up on this crazy. I don't want to cover up that molten lava. I think we're going to have to a little bit. Maybe not. I might adjust this a little bit. I'll put a journal box down here. I just can't see covering that beautiful border up with that beautiful molten lava. Can't do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4. And then, see, I had a little spot where I had my finger over it, mainly because I was holding on for dear life, because, oh my gosh, wait until you see the other side of the page where we are going up, up, up. You'll understand what my fear was. Oh, these children, the things I do for them. Hey, Mom, let's do this crazy thing. Okay. And then this one we're going to cut down. Now this page actually says 5.5 by 3.5. So I guess I could have cut that a little bit more. I'm happy with where they are. I'm going to stick with the 5 3/4. I guess if I want to do the matting that it calls for. What do I want to do? So I pulled over from matting. I pulled this over. And I was going to put white behind it like it has on here. It has a 10 by 6 piece that goes behind here. But I really don't want to bring that down. So maybe I'm going to push it up instead. Let's go ahead and, instead of making it white, let's use a songbird. So we'll cut the 10 part first. Because I might use a 2-inch strip somewhere else later, but probably won't use the little tiny baby scraps. But but this I might use. So 10 by 6. So getting the inner workings of Cassie's brain when doing a sketch and changing it up. Okay, so I think I am going to do that, and I'm going to just have this go up instead of down. And that's going to make me happy. I'm going to eliminate one mat. So, and then, so I'm not going to double mat it. I'm going to use this like as if it's the mat. So center that. Now, if you're designing as you go, it's really important to use repositionable tape, because then if you're not exactly happy with what your little brain comes up with, you can adjust. But I'm super happy with this. Okay, we'll add some more over here in just a minute. We're going to go over to the other side and play with that. So, this is already cut to the 10 by 6 size. So we are good to go there. That's going to go right on here, centered. Okay, look, this is me scared to death. My boys are down there. I need to trim these pictures first. Oh, like why? Why do they do these things to me? But I did it. I did not die. And someday, when I'm gone, they can look at the scrapbooks and they can say, look what we made Mom do. And she was a trooper. She's afraid of heights and she did it anyway. I will definitely leave room for journaling because I need to point that out to them. And then over here, I'm just going to do 2 pictures. I'm going to go, I want these over this way. Okay. 2 pictures. They're going to go up. So they're going to be 3 3/4. I want most of this. Okay. Maybe 4. Yep, 3 3/4 works. Ugh. Look, I'm just thinking. Look it down. This is the front of my. This is the front of my my little car. I'm looking straight down at my husband and son's head, and my daughter is laughing at me next to me. Laughing, I tell you. And then this is the fort. This is the fort way, way up there. Oh my goodness. The things I do. Okay. And then this is just going to go right up here. Yes, super happy with that. I really love the first sketch of the sketch weekend. I hope I love all of them as much as I love this one. Because this one's bringing me some joy. I mean, I really love sketches anyway. But this one's like speaking my language. Isn't it nice how everybody can have their own style and they can interpret the sketch how they want? There's really no wrong. It's scrapbooking. So I love that there's no wrong in scrapbooking. Okay, so that has our pictures down, and now we're going to add a little. We're going to bring our beautiful folder over here, and I'm going to need some journaling. Hopefully, I won't have to cover up any molten lava to do that. Let's see what we have in the half journal box arena. That one's vertical. That won't work. That doesn't really leave. Oh, this might work. This would be so nice if it were not vertical. Okay, we'll consider it. We'll consider that one. We'll consider that. This would be nice. Let's see, what else we got? I think that's where it's going to be. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that one. Okay. So we're going to come over here. And this is 6.5. So we're going to cut it at 3.25. And it's going to go down. It is going to cover. Oh, you know what? Da, 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 da. I'm going to trim a little off of it. So we're going to trim a 1/4 of an inch off the top. I don't even think we need a 1/4. Let's try 1/8 of an inch off the top and 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. Okay. No, still too big. Should have gone with the 1/4. Okay, another 1/8 of an inch top, 1/8 of an inch bottom. But now we got to even it up on the sides. So it is 4.5. So we'll measure down to 4.25. Measure this down to 4. Okay. I know I'm trimming a little extra, guys, but I feel the need. I really don't want to cover up my molten lava. Okay, there we go. Still super cute journal box, but now look, it can go here. Actually, it's going to go here. Okay. Now I'm going to have a little bit more writing to do than that. I'm actually going to take this one. I think this will look really nice. Oh, I'm going to try to quite on par here. Okay, this one is going to look really nice here. Like, look, because that's all sky. So I'm going to cover part of that up. And then I can write about what I was seeing up there. And now we just need to decorate a little bit. Pull these out and do a little bit of clustering. I love this collection so much. They really, look, I love it so much that I have multiples of everything. Multiples. I used it for my CCI class too. So let's see. I feel like we have enough going on over here on this side. But over here, I feel like we could do a little something. Well, we're going to use this mountain, obviously. We are going to cover up a little bit of the molten lava. Cluster. And that still leaves me a little bit of room to write. Okay. And then I saw one here that said, travel is my therapy. Maybe some clouds up here. And I want that one. So this over here. Yep. I like it to be in threes. So do I have a little tiny something to go up here? Let's see. What about this heart? I like that heart a lot. Don't want to cover up the fort, but I do want to add this in. It fits perfectly. Okay, let's get this all out of our way. Here we are. And here are our finished pages. Okay, now I just have to sit down with a cup of hot tea or a glass of wine, depending on my mood, and go ahead and journal. So I hope you had a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.